53rd IATEFL conference. We're here with amazing colleagues interviewing and bring you live what it feels like to be at Liverpool. I'm sure that you have better weather than we do today, but well, we have the speakers here. So I'm here with my colleague from Greece and TESOL Greece, Anastasia Metallinou, and with Margaret Smith, who needs no introduction. I know that whenever I mention her name, everybody says, yeah, of course. If she's talking about dyslexia, I'm not talking about dyslexia, obviously. So welcome, ladies. I'm very happy to have you here. But there is a deeper connection between the two of you, other than ELT well and whatever you've been doing.
English sounds fun.
English sounds fun. And also you're co-founders of the IATEFL SIG, sorry, forgot the name of the SIG.
So I'm one of the founder members of the Inclusive Practices and SEN SIG. Yeah.
And then Anastasia came on as a member of the IATEFL SIG.
Yes. You're a member of the SIG? Yes. Yeah. But then Anastasia started her own
SIG for TESOL Greece.
Yes,
and it started last year, so it's a year old.
And I think this conference has given us an idea of how important it is for associations, schools, textbooks to be inclusive. So
certainly I think the word is getting out there. When we started the Inclusive Practices and SEN SIG 3 years ago, we started it because we felt that there was a big gap, and teachers were telling us that they didn't feel prepared, they didn't have any resources, they didn't know what to do when their students were a bit different. So so over 3 years we've seen quite a big change actually.
And tell me a little bit about the projects you have done. I should start with you because your projects are chronologically a bit older, I believe, and then we're going to come to the project that was carried out in Athens last November.
My projects from ELTWell or
for
Inclusive
the Inclusive Practices.
So Inclusive Practices and SEN SIG, we've been working with quite a few other organisations. We've had joint events with, for example, PronSig. We did a session on how to teach pronunciation inclusively last autumn. We've worked with the Park School in Brno. We had a strand in their big conference. So, and obviously our newsletter comes out twice a year. For quite a young SIG, we're actually growing quite quickly, and we've
I would imagine, because this is a hot topic in education and a hot topic in ELT.
And we've got plans for next year to work with the Testing, Evaluation and Assessment SIG on inclusive assessment.
Now that would be excellent.
And learning technology, because of course, assistive technology for our dyslexic and neurodiverse learners is really, really important. So we've got lots of plans to work with other SIGs as well.
Of course. And Anastasia, you were telling me before about your colloquium in Athens.
Yes, we set it up last year. I'm the SIG coordinator. We had a big SIG, we participated in the big SIG day in autumn in Athens. And there was a presentation by Corina Kalogerogianni.
Not Mastrogianni, Kalogerogianni.
Yes, I'm sorry, Corina.
Not a problem.
And in November, we did a colloquium exactly in this field, and we were very lucky and honoured to have plenary speakers, Margaret Smith, Rachel Harris, Dina Tsagari. I'm going to leave this for the end. Bimali, but I cannot pronounce her surname. Yes, and we were very honoured as well to have with us Judith Kormos, and we achieved this with the support of Belta and providing the platform.
So that was an actual conference, but your speaker was streamlined.
The key speaker, yes, was streamlined, and of course the whole colloquium was with the support of IPSEN and IATEFL, which was fantastic, a fantastic collaboration. And on Monday I participated in the Associates Day, so representatives from all associations were there, and in my talk I asked, and actually it was the very first colloquium worldwide in this field. So
yeah, naturally, because it is a young SIG and quite a young area of expertise and of interest. In the past we might have considered this fairly insignificant, but it was always very significant to go out there and research what we can do in order to deliver better and more inclusive teaching.
Exactly, but if you consider how things were 3 years ago and what we have achieved within these 3 years, it's just amazing.
Of course, which actually brings to mind the last time we were here in IATEFL in 2013, that was only 6 short years away. And if each one of us could make, let's say, a biography or a path of what it was like from 2013 to 2019, would be impressive. And Margaret, you know that tomorrow we are going to close the conference with an interactive plenary on the future directions of ELT.
Yes.
And you represent one of those, let's say, future directions.
I hope so.
How hopeful do you feel about the seriousness and the in-depth analysis?
I feel quite optimistic actually. I feel that the head of the trustees of IATEFL are beginning to take inclusion very seriously. I know that Harry Kucha in his opening address mentioned inclusion not once but several times. This is a very, very strong message that's coming through from the top of IATEFL.
And the presence of Dr. Harry Kucha is actually a very strong voice out there.
So I'm very, very optimistic, because for any change to take place, we need not just teachers and students to work from the bottom up, but we need management and leadership from the top down. It's got to be both ways, so that it's sustainable and we can spread good practice and share our knowledge and experiences with teachers all around the world.
So Anastasia, could you share your own experience from the Greek part of the SIG, the TESOL Greece SIG?
I had all the support from the very first beginning. It was just an idea, and they helped me make it real. The TESOL board worked very hard for this, so it was a great collaboration for this, and we have so much support from Greek teachers. There was good attendance in the colloquium.
Which is so important, because without active participation, the best ideas might die out in one conference actually.
Exactly, and in the Associates Day, many associations approached me in order to collaborate together. Some want to start creating their own
inclusive education
in special education, which is so optimistic, and only if we collaborate together we can achieve big things.
So, Anne-Margaret, I know that apart from anything else, you and Anastasia collaborate, and you are materials writers, which is published and available, and it's for inclusive education. My question would be, how hopeful are you, not about your own material, which is written specially, but about the presence of the idea of including everybody in material that gets written and published for the general market?
I do see a change in the big publishers. Oxford University Press, for example, have put out a position paper on inclusive practices. I know that some of the big publishers are working towards making their materials more inclusive. I feel there's quite a long way to go, because of course big publishers have got other priorities, shall I say, and there's always a tension there between doing what is absolutely most inclusive and what is going to meet the bottom line requirements. So there's always going to be a tension, but I do feel that we're moving in the right direction.
That's hopeful. Anastasia, what would you comment on this? Are you hopeful for the Greek side of the materials development?
Well, I'm very optimistic again. We're doing the best we can. We'll see. We're working hard on this.
Of course, as are we, but unfortunately the weather is making it impossible. So ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, and please keep talking about future trends in ELT and use the hashtag.